Hi, welcome to the series. My Instagram's a little messed up. Here we go. Awesome. Well, welcome back to this series, our Eating with Ease and Feeling Your Best through the holidays and ultimately into the new year. Because if you're watching this live with me or today when it gets posted, you are watching this after the Christmas madness, right? So this lesson is all about, hold on one second. Let me make sure that my phone is not going to fall. This lesson is all about what are we talking about today? This lesson's about how not to fall into that tempting New Year's diet resolution trap. And what's funny is I literally taped my phone on Instagram to use to do the Instagram live. I taped it under my webcam. So it just started unfastening as we start our live. A little janky, but at least you get to see my eyes in the same place where before they were going all over the place. So that's good. All right, we're here. Tech solved. Welcome. It's so good to see you all. Hi, Mandy. Hey, April. Who else is here? All right. So this time of year, coming off the holidays, it is so tempting to go to a diet, to want to go to a diet, right? It's so tempting to just want to do this big life overhaul. And I'm not against big life overhauls. I'm not against committing to your health. Right now, I've made some really big shifts with my health and supporting my partner, my boyfriend, with his. So I'm all for this stuff. I think it's great. I think it's needed. But we have to be really honest with ourselves about where we're at in our journey and the impact of making these big changes on us. And is it going to actually be something that's sustainable? Because if you're here, most likely you don't just want to get 5 pounds off or 50 pounds off. You want to release weight or feel healthy, and you want to completely transform your relationship with food where you don't have to think about this stuff anymore, right? Where it just becomes a part of life where you feel good, you make choices that work for you, you don't fall into kind of the traps of self-sabotage, and you get to live an awesome life without worrying about food, without worrying about your body, where this stuff is just a nourishing part of your life instead of anything that steals your joy from it. So while I'm all about making changes, we want to really do a check on where you're at before you decide what changes you should be making, right? Before you decide the type of change that's going to be best for you. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to let go of your goals altogether. I know many of you might want to release weight, and there's that sticky place you get in where you're like, I don't want to go back to dieting. I don't want to diet. I've learned that this doesn't work for me, but I also want to release weight and I want to take care of myself and I want to eat food that supports me. And we've been talking about that in the last few lives. I'm going to actually go more into the weight loss without dieting tomorrow. But for today, I want to talk about kind of the prep work before we jump into what's next, right? What's next for 2022? What's next for you and your goals? And how do we do that in a way that really honors you? So I want to give everyone a little I don't know what the word is, reality check. I don't know. Basically, I want to bring some attention back to not the impacts of dieting that I talk about, but the impacts of dieting on you personally. And even if you're a graduate who hasn't dieted in 6 years, I want you to just look at and be honest with ourselves about the effects of this stuff, right? So, and for anyone just popped on, disclaimer, when I say no diet, I don't mean forget about weight loss forever and eat anything and everything, right? We still take a very supportive, connected approach to our eating here. Okay, so let's look at dieting. So I would love to know in the comments, where has dieting gotten you as far as how much you thought about food? Like, let's say you started a diet, you got a few weeks in. Were you thinking about food a lot? And maybe it didn't happen in the beginning, but did you eventually get to a place where getting food, what you're going to eat, how much you're eating, that kind of stuff, was it on your mind often? Let me know in the comments. I'd also be curious on your kind of, good to see you, Regina. Your kind of, what's the word? Mandy says all the time. Yeah, same. I'd also be curious on how satisfied you felt when you were dieting. So when I was dieting, I felt like I could eat and eat and eat. I never felt satisfied. I felt like almost a bottomless pit of of eating. And that was tough, right? And the more I dieted, the more I restricted my food, I never felt satisfied. I'd be curious on when you've dieted if you felt like at any moment a craving could come or any moment a shoe could drop where you were fighting a craving. Like your cravings or desires to eat felt out of control and overwhelming and like almost like they were impossible to say no to. And even if you said no to them, they'd like come out and get you at some point, right? One night, one day when the house gets quiet, boom. Regina says, so true. The foods that I ate were not the ones that satisfied me. Yes, yes. So, when you've dieted, have you noticed a pull to those foods that you said no to? Let's say you're like, I can't have gluten or I can't have bread. Did you notice more of a pull to those things? I know I did. If I told myself I am not going to have bread, I'd be thinking about bread all the time. So let's just say from the chat response, I'm seeing yes, 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 yes. So we're just going to summarize this as thinking about food more, never feeling satisfied, eating more, wanting to eat more, and more cravings. Okay. That is this person over here. We're doing person A who is starting a diet on January 1, New Year's, right? This is person A with all these things. Now let's talk about person B. Person B still has goals to be healthy and happy. Person B still has goals to maybe release weight or heal her body or feel better, right? Person B still got these goals, but person B is going to go about it a little bit differently. Person B is going to focus on caring for herself, like we've been talking about this whole series. Person B is going to eat in ways that nourish her, which nourish her mentally, emotionally, and physically, right? Physically, with your more traditional healthy choices, mentally and emotionally, with some variety on those choices, mentally, emotionally, on enjoying moments with friends and family without completely losing control on food, partaking in festivities, having a pizza night, whatever your thing is that supports you mentally and emotionally. Person B is going to focus on satisfying her needs physically, on regulating her emotions and supporting herself through her self-sabotaging patterns and so forth. And while there might be a little willpower there because it takes some work to build new habits, person B is working with her brain and body instead of fighting it. Person A is willpower, fighting brain and body to stick to a regimen. Person B is still being disciplined, still practicing things, but working with the way her body works and coming from a place of self honor. Many of the choices might look the same, but who do you think is going to have the most likely success, like the most likely to be at the end of 2022 and look back and be like, man, I really made some changes. My relationship with food is different. My life is different. My body's different. I feel better. Who is most likely to do that? The person that is going the really rigid route and relying on willpower control, fighting their body, doing things that makes them eat more, think about more food, crave more carbs, like Mindy said a second ago. That person, or the person who is going to have her cravings and her desires, but she's meeting herself and working with them and retraining her brain and body. I'm going to answer for you. I'm going to say person B is going to be that person that looks back at the end of the year and has more of the results that you ultimately desire. And I know when we want to get weight off, and I know when we're uncomfortable in our body, and I know when we don't feel good. I've been all of those things and then some. And while I've never experienced life in an obese body, I have experienced life 30, 40, 50 pounds more than this. I've experienced gaining, 30 pounds the week after a fitness show and not being able to put shoes on because my feet were so swollen. I've experienced going up and down 20 pounds a week at a time, depending on my binges that weekend. I've experienced walking around the world in a body that doesn't feel like mine, in a body that feels drastically different 5 days later than the 5 days ago when I was person A and sticking to everything, right? I know what that feels like, and it's not fun. And I don't want that for you in the new year or ever. And I know what it's like to want the weight off no matter what. Like how scary and how pressuring and how worrisome and how heavy you can feel and how you can feel like you're not even in your body anymore and you don't feel like yourself and you feel embarrassed and you feel worried about judgment. I know what it feels like to feel exhausted, bedridden, sick, wanting nothing in the world other than like a glimpse of feeling good for a day. I felt all those places. And the not feeling good gets me even emotional because of how consuming it can be. And I also know what it's like to land on the shiny diet that promises you the beautiful results, that promises you everything that you want, that kicks on those internal desires to want love and approval and belonging and feeling good and thriving and all the things that all of you are deserving of. And I know how tempting it is to just say, I'm just going to do this thing for like a month and then I'll do the food freedom thing. Then I'll do the intuitive eating thing. Then I'll take care of myself differently. Oh my God, I've tried that so many times. And I'm urging you, even though you want those fast results and you want to relieve the pain quickly, so much can be relieved through this more of a partnership approach. So much can be relieved through this journey on the mental and emotional front. And then our bodies eventually catch up. And it can be slow, but it doesn't have to. Everyone's so different. When I stopped binge eating, I released my first kind of 10-ish pounds really quickly. Then there was 20 more that came off slowly over time, and so everyone's so different, but I just know that what you deserve, what you're here for, and what you ultimately want is worth taking the journey that reconnects back to you, that works with your brain and body instead of fighting it. And that is my wish to everyone, even if it takes some time to figure it out. And what we're doing is I am going to be taking a small group of women through our Food Freedom Forever curriculum. And I'm going to be doing this personally with the help of some of our coaches that I've been in chats with that have helped me build the program, produce results for clients in our life and for clients for years in our programs. And I'm really excited about it. So message me if that's something that you're interested in. I have not done one-on-one calls, like conversations about our programs in a very long time. And if I did, it was like a surprise to someone. So this is all me kind of coming out of retirement, so to speak, and coming out the way that we used to do things into a way that is intimate and access to me that's never really been had before in the last 6 years. And that's why we're keeping the group really small. Access to our coaches on an emotional support level that hasn't been provided in years. And that's once again why we're keeping the program. I'm sorry, I don't want to call it a program. The journey, we'll say, the journey that we're all taking together, really small and intimate. And if that is something that you are interested in, please message me. This would be for you. If you're like full blown eating disorder, I would highly suggest you go through our Beating Binge Eating Blueprint program and get that foundation. If you are in a place where there's still some overeating, you still have some compulsive tendencies, you have some self-sabotaging patterns you want to break, you want to get to a place where you never have to think about food again, where this stuff is so easy and second nature. You truly want to go deep and rewire the way you relate to yourself, your food, your body from the inside out, where this stuff is a thing of the past and you're good. This is for you. This is for you if you struggle with weight loss, but you don't want to diet. This is for you if you've struggled with intuitive eating before, you've gained weight from it, you don't know how to navigate it without gaining weight and losing control with food. This journey will be a reconnection back to yourself. So the real you gets to make decisions. The real you gets to show up to your plate and your life and honor yourself in a way that feels truly connected. And you get to go through the ups and downs of life without getting taken out completely by them. And me and the coaches will ultimately be in your corner to support you through that. So I'm really excited about this. When I started this series, I didn't know that I was going to be doing that. I had this inkling inside of me that I was going to do something, but I wanted to see what it would feel like to reconnect with our community, our graduates, our clients, our Instagram, people that have never heard from us in a way where I'm resourced now, I'm connected, I'm excited, I'm healthy. And before I was all of those things many times, but there was an aspect of me in our business, I feel like, that was a little burnout, and that's not there anymore. So that's exciting. And through these lives, I have loved being here with you all. I've absolutely loved it. And so I'm excited to go a little more intimate and deep with a small group of women. It is going to be more of an investment, right, than like our front end, which is basically, for those of you who don't know, we have all the other programs I have created. Beating Binge Eating, our signature program that sold for thousands of dollars, our body image programs, our master classes, our workshops, anything I've created to support people in the Beating Binge Eating thing, just everything that you could think of that has supported our clients for years is in the is in our, my brain's stopping because I'm reading multiple comments while I'm trying to talk. And I just noticed that I have freckles on my face on Instagram. What the hell? I clicked a button that put freckles on me. I literally have dots all over my face. Well, now I have freckles. Facebook, you can't see this, but if you go to my Instagram and look at the video, I'm like, what is on my nose? Okay. Anyway, what was I going to say? Anyway, our Food Freedom Collection has a lot of the self-study stuff, all the things that have supported our clients, recordings of calls and so forth. But this next journey is going to be a more intimate one. And is going to be there's going to be some work to do, but it is that next step. So Cindy said, I did Beating Binge Eating Blueprint. I loved it. Yes, Cindy, I'm ready for the next step. Cindy, I'll reach out to you and you and I can just jump on a call and see if it feels like it's a good fit. No pressure. This is not a big, massive thing that we're doing. I want to be excited to partner with the women who are in this. I want it to, even if you're a little nervous or scared to take the leap, I want it to feel like that thing that feels like a yes inside of you, because, you know, we're all going to be in this together. And so yes, Cindy, I would be so excited to have you there. For our graduates that have done Food Freedom Forever before, there's about 40 of you, I believe. We will have an option if you want to like come back in and kind of be a part of it in a different capacity. We'll have an option for that. Terry is like the first person that comes to mind because Terry, I miss you on all of our calls, and I know that you have kind of been in everything and love being a part of the conversation. So Terry, if you see this, hi. But that's going to be an option too. I don't have all the details worked out. I have literally been talking all day, every day with Stella, our director of coaching. I've had a few combos with her, with Tanya, who is another coach on our team, who, God, she's so amazing in the emotional support and the breath work and the clearing and the centering. I'm talking with students who've supported us before, coaches who've supported us before, my mama, who's like the coach leader in the community, Mama Brown. And so there's some stuff in the works. And Cindy, yes, if you want to jump on a call, message me. If anyone does, just message me and we can chat about it and see if it feels like a good fit for all of us, right? Since we are going to be hanging out a little more intimately. Okay, what else? Back to our topic at hand. Didn't even know I was going to talk about that. Anyone got any questions? Food stuff, body stuff? What are your goals for the new year? Like, what do you want for the new year? Actually, I'd love to see that in the comments, because if I see what you want for the new year, I can tailor the rest of this series to you and what you ultimately desire. Tomorrow, I'm going to be chatting a little bit about weight loss without dieting. Then I'm going to move into to what it takes to maintain food freedom, and what it takes to maintain food freedom, what it takes to break those patterns of self-sabotage, even if they're not with food. You know, food freedom, we say food freedom, but it is just freedom. It's freedom from the icky stuff that comes up and like knocks you out, and how to move through life without getting taken out by it, right? And so Gina says, sounds awesome. Would love something for FFF grads. Yeah, Gina. So I don't have it fully worked out, but I'm thinking if some grads want to come in and still be a part of the calls, since all the calls aren't going to be like food and body focused necessarily. We're going to have some more emotional support, self-care. I'm going to actually do more of like the personal development and the like actionable, like how to take what you're learning and put it into your life, and the implementation and supporting with that. And so I definitely think that's something that even women who've been through Food Freedom Forever could really, really value from being a part of the conversation still. So that's going to be there too. And I'm excited about it. So I'm still working out the details, but Gina, I'll reach out to you. Cindy, I'll reach out to you. anyone else, just message me or chat. Anyone got any goals for the new year you want to share? Even if it's not food and body stuff before we sign off for the day? Anyone? I can't stop looking at my face with freckles. Thanks for saying they're cute on Instagram. I could take them. Raquel, I'm interested in the program you'll be having. Awesome, Raquel. Well, message me. And Mandy, you should message too, even if FFF's not a good fit, Mandy, where you don't want to do like the deeper stuff. I know you've been on these lives and loving them. Mandy, did you do the Food Freedom Collection yet? Just like our bucket of resources for all things food, body, binge, freedom. I'd be curious on that. Raquel says self-care. Yes, self-care. Food Freedom Forever is going to be lots of self-care stuff. My Precious says, do you work with women who have Hashimoto's? Yeah. So 25%-ish of our clients have an autoimmune condition or a food intolerance where gluten doesn't do well for their body, or, what's the word? My brain, dairy doesn't do well for their body or something. So yes. So I don't have Hashimoto's, but I had severe thyroid conditions. I've had adrenal fatigue. I've had so many things that I've reversed almost completely naturally. Adrenal fatigue's gone. I'm off 75% of my thyroid meds. I take a really low dose of Armour Thyroid still, but I what's the word? But I am in a place where I'm not plagued by these things anymore. We've had numerous clients with Hashimoto's, Crohn's, colitis, Lyme disease, adrenal, thyroid, a lot with hormone imbalances. So we've had women who literally weren't even getting their cycle anymore. And we had a woman who hadn't had her cycle since she was 16. She was 32. She wanted to have a baby. She couldn't. There was so much going on. And week 3 of our Beating Binge Eating Blueprint program, which does not focus on hormonal balance or strict eating protocols or anything at all, we start doing this work a few weeks in where you're almost like laying down the sword with your body, right? You're not fighting anymore. You're partnering with it. And your body starts having a chance to breathe and get out of that survival mode. And this woman in between week 3 and 5 got her cycle back, went on to get pregnant. She'd been trying forever. She'd work with functional medicine, traditional doctors, naturopaths, stopped exercise, try exercise, like all the things you could think of, gained weight, lost weight, everything to heal her hormones. Nothing was working. And when she got out of her stress response consistently, her body was like, cool, we're back in action. And having a regular cycle, unless obviously you're menopausal, is a sign that your body's working really well. So my answer is, can I promise a healing of your Hashimoto's through food freedom? Absolutely not. But what I can promise is your body being in a more resilient place. When your body isn't worried about making up for the binge from last night or recovering from the diet or recovering from the overeating, and your body gets to have just kind of like a time of homeostasis and ease, your body gets to work miracles. And so inflammation goes down, stress response goes down, symptoms can be a little more neutral for something as severe as Hashimoto's or other autoimmune conditions. So very well versed in that world. Honestly, it's a passion of mine to support people through that, because I have gone to so many practitioners and little bits and pieces would work for certain things, but I never felt like I had the answer. And the cool thing about food freedom is it gives you the foundation to do all the things, right? When you're not struggling with binging and overeating anymore, you can adjust your diet without triggering something. You can give your body consistency to heal, right? So my short answer is yes. My long answer is everything I just said. Mandy asked, she says, you're in week 4 of BBEB. Can you come to FFF? Yes. So you have access to the collection and BBEB for life. And the cool thing about our next program that we're doing that's going to have the coaching support with me and the team is I'm going to point back to resources of all that stuff. So let's say you didn't have that, Mandy. Like, let's say you hadn't gone through BBEB and we launched this today. I would ask you to at least go through the first 2 to 4 modules of BBEB before starting this next program as a foundation. So you're actually in a really, really, really good spot for it. And historically with BBEB, it always came with coaching support. So it always came with some type of call where people had a place to go ask questions. It always came with a group where you had a place to go ask questions. So FFF, or whatever we call this next stage of things, this next stage is going to give you that place to get that more personal support to your health, to your life, to your structure, to your schedule, to all of it. And so it is like actually a perfect seamless thing. And then by time we start this next program, we'll have open enrollment for a few weeks. And by time we start it, you'll probably, if you stay consistent with BBEB, have finished BBEB, which will be perfect. So I designed this program largely for women that have at least done one or more of our things. They've either done our challenge, they've either done BBEB. This process is like the next step. Once you're out of that super, super, super compulsive place, or at least understand the concept of getting out of it, and you have some foundation under you, this is like the next step to solidify that transformation and make it last for life. So whether you're still binge eating or you just got a little overeating left and you're trying to do what Cindy wants to do, which is find foods that really make you feel good and develop that connection to self and that self-care, right? This could be a really natural next step. So Raquel, Mindy, anyone, or Mandy, sorry, I keep saying Mindy because we have a Mindy in our Facebook group. Raquel, Mandy, message me on Instagram. Anyone on Facebook, message me on Facebook. I'll be in my inbox extra, just supporting everyone through this series because we've been getting a lot of feedback from it. So I will be there. So just message me and we can just pop on a quick call, and see if it's a good fit. And like I mentioned, since this is going to be a smaller, more intimate thing, it's not going to be like, open the doors and fill up. It's going to be like, hey, we're taking a small group of you through this and no more are going to be allowed than this. So let's make sure we're all on the same page and we're going to be in this together. So I'm excited about it. So cool. Awesome. I'm going to actually, do I have a notepad? Do I have anything around here? Hold on. I lost all my pens, guys. Where did I put them? Okay, I have nothing to write with. Let me actually make a little note, Mandy and Raquel and Cindy and Gina, and I will make sure to reach out to you guys over the next couple of days as we get everything figured out. Now my computer's not letting me type. Mandy, Raquel, Gina, Cindy, I got you. I'll write it down as soon as I sign off this live, or just message me. But awesome. Well, it was really great being with you all here today. Happy almost New Year's. Can you believe it's 2022? I'm excited to chat tomorrow about weight loss without dieting. And then we'll go into some of the anti-self-sabotage, making your change last stuff. So I will see you there. Oops, I can't. Oh, okay. I ended on Instagram. How do I end on Facebook? Hi, guys. I'm looking at myself on Facebook and this light is very bright. I promise I will get ready for you all one of these days. But I had to choose between getting ready and taking a walk that helped me feel good and in my power for this live. So I chose the walk. Chose the messy face, messy hair. It was raining outside and the walk. But I hope everyone has a beautiful day and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Love you. Bye. Oh, real quick. Nishi says, hey, Brittany, do you think self-control is a myth? Does courage play any part in taking good decisions, or does it come from a place of self-love? How do you sustain long-term good habit? Okay, Nishi, what's today? Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's weight loss without dieting, which is Thursday. Friday is going to be sustaining good habits. Friday and Monday are going to be dedicated to sustaining good habits. So make sure you tune into those. In short, I don't think self-control is a myth. I think self-control and willpower are needed. Sometimes, even when you're coming from a place of self-love, you have to make a decision that doesn't feel good to make. Like, I did not want to walk in the rain today. Oh my God, I did not want to walk in the misty, cold wind. But I was grumpy as shit this morning. And I had to move. If I would have just jumped on my computer, I would have been like so icky energetically. And so to me, that decision took willpower and self-control and diligence. Actually, I'll say it took discipline, but it still came from a place of self-love. The negative side of that would be, let's say it came from a place of like, ew, I ate last night. I'm getting on this live. My face is puffy. I need to just go like sweat it out, but my body doesn't feel good. I need to, because that's like a place of punishment and self-hate, right? So I believe discipline is a part of change. Courage play any part in making good decisions? Yes. Sometimes the courageous decision is doing something that makes us uncomfortable, and all of that stuff is really an important part of change, but it ultimately is rooted in care and self-love and compassion and what's in your highest and best, and the highest and best for others in the world, and honoring yourself, even if it feels hard to make sometimes. But yeah, so tune in tomorrow if weight loss is something you desire, but ultimately Friday and Monday for like the lasting change stuff. Cool. I hope that helps, and I'll talk to you then. Gina, I'm glad you're loving